Starbucks has been in Malaysia for 20 years and is celebrated by opening a flagship Reserve store in Berjaya Times Square. We speak to Sydney Quays, CEO of Berjaya Food and MD of Starbucks Malaysia and Brunei about the importance of the Reserve stores, growth plans and keeping the brand fresh in the face of hipster cafe onslaught. Starbucks has been in Malaysia for 20 years. You've just opened the most latest for your 20th anniversary Reserve store in Berjaya Times Square where we are now. So I've got to ask, why do you feel that you want to open more Reserve outlets compared, to your normal car outlets? Is it just prestige? Is it demand?
The one that we opened in Berjaya Times Square is our 8th Reserve. The first one we did was in Gardens. That was our first Reserve. Reserve was a little bit of a risk for us, I must say, when we first started venturing into the Reserve part of our business. And the reason why is because you need to be able to have an affluent market to appreciate what we do in a Reserve. And it's also a place for us to be able to showcase our coffee expertise. A lot of people may connote that a chain organization is not an expert because they deliver to the mass. But with the Reserve, we've proved many people wrong, that in the fact that we need not be small to really showcase our expertise. We have the leverage of the brand, and we also have the leverage of the knowledge and also the synergy to be able to leverage on, like for example, the Reserve getting great coffees from around the world.
But does it make business sense? Mostly because, and you've mentioned this, that Reserve stores cost about 30% more. I mean, I assume that is just not the fittings, it's the staff as well. So in terms of revenue from Reserve stores, especially since you say you're catering to a certain affluent market, is the revenue higher? You
see, a Reserve store also has a core bar. So it's basically business as usual.
Okay.
But when you want the Reserve experience, or when you want that special experience, that learning experience, you go to the Reserve bar. You might pay a little bit more extra, but you're getting coffees that are not available anywhere else. In terms of the economic sense, it definitely makes a lot of sense. The reason why is because people want to experience different things, and at Starbucks we provide that opportunity to do that. We will not open a lot of Reserve stores. On an average, I think probably we will have no more than 20 or so.
And that's the whole country?
In the whole country, yeah.
Okay.
Over probably the next 5 years.
So you're a chain store that wants to think like a hipster cafe?
I wouldn't say we want to think like a hipster cafe, but I think most hipster cafes are not around for 20 years.
Okay.
Right, so if you talk about the hipster trend, we started that trend, I think.
We've talked about the coffee and we've talked about all the Reserve, but your Teavana range actually has been quite a bit of a hit. So what kind of new products else can we expect from Starbucks in the coming months?
On the Teavana platform, what we are looking at is we are looking to establish a tea bar in one of our stores. It will be a test store that we can actually establish a bar that really focuses on tea, like what we do in the Reserve, that focuses on our coffee. So we want to do that with tea.
So can you just give us a peek as to what we can expect from Starbucks this particular year?
New drinks, obviously. Every 6 weeks we will get a new drink. We will also be trying, or we will also be launching, I wouldn't say trying, but we'll also be launching new milk, basically, I will put it. We're going to launch coconut very soon. So these are, like I said, it's an evolving business, it's an evolving brand. Coconut is a very big thing now. But we have trialed and tested coconut milk. And it's done on a regional basis, and so we're going to launch it very soon. And I've tried it, and it's really, really good, very, very good. And besides that, so besides these new launches, we are also working more towards our store openings are standard. We have close to about 30 stores a year that we open on an average. We will open more Reserve stores, more drive-thrus.
Can you give us a bit more specific details?
Out of that 30, probably about 6 or 7 drive-thrus, yeah, and probably another 1 or 2 more Reserves.
Okay.
Yeah, and the rest will be core stores, as well as maybe smaller stores that sit in the transportation hubs.
So what is going to be driving sort of like Starbucks' sales this year? Are you expecting more from, are you expecting more from each store, or is the growth going to come from the new stores?
The growth will come basically from, we are expecting our comparable sales to be about 8%.
Okay, that's about standard, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's about 8%. The rest will come from the new stores as we grow the new stores. We are actually exploring new towns now. In fact, we are actually looking to open in places like Semporna.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Tawau, which we are not there yet. Yeah, so we are actually going out to a lot of these smaller towns. And so if you look at our growth plan, basically now is to be able to reach places that we are not there. And of course, if places where we are, like say the Klang Valley comes available, we'll take it, that's for sure. But then again, the real strategy is to go out and, because there are a lot of people in these smaller towns who actually have heard of Starbucks. And we know that the reception for Starbucks is very strong because we have this bold Frappuccino that we sell in 7-Eleven, right? And it's available in all these small towns. And people are buying a lot of it.
Starbucks is in Malaysia for 20 years, and we've mentioned that before. And can you give us a sort of snapshot for how has the journey been? Because I think a lot of people, like you said at the beginning, thought it was a fad, you know, that it's just going to another chain that comes and go. But you guys have managed to kind of persist.
20 years, there were many highlights, but I think some of the game changers that we actually had was the fact that we have actually evolved in concepts, like I mentioned. I think if we were to stick with one concept that we had for the last 20 years, I do not think we'll be as successful. We started obviously with our core stores, and then we evolved into drive-thrus for convenience. We also have reserve, as mentioned, and also the smaller stores. So these four concepts allow us the flexibility to go into any location, be it a 10,000 square feet or a 500 square feet. So that, and our customers demand that of us. We get a lot of customers who want us to be everywhere that they are. Okay? So these concepts give us the flexibility to move into different places where we could not do before.